Remember how the Himalayan handlebar comes up high because the tank rises up.
Yeah.
This tank only comes up a little bit in the handlebar. Some people said you might need risers if you're riding off-road and all of that. Please do not take these conclusions as given conclusions because they are your conclusions. Ride the bike. If you think you need risers, put risers. If you think the bike doesn't need risers, don't put risers. It's not a big deal.
Okay, cool.
Right? Plastic handguards, adjustable levers, excellent mirrors. Lots of people have been wondering about the headlight. It's a good headlight. It's just adjusted too high as stock because legal. And this is a bike with long travel suspension, so it pitches quite a bit. So if you ride fast, you're probably going to be pitched upwards, which means your rear end is squatted. Your headlight is going to point at the sky a lot. You need to adjust it down, which is what I would do. If you ride calmly, I would still adjust it down a little bit and bring the headlight closer. So as stock, I think it's a really bright headlight, but the way it comes adjusted, you're not going to think that that's going to happen. The only odd thing in there is when you switch on the high beam, which is really powerful, they somehow want to dim the low beam, which I don't understand. Why should you have to do that on an LED? Maybe it's because they put a box and now the heat sinks can't keep up with both the elements being on together, but they're projector units, they work really well. The low beam is nice and bright, even at the current adjustment. I would actually adjust it lower, which would make it less flashy because the cutoff keeps moving in and out of people's vision. They keep thinking I'm flashing them. So I want to reduce that. Okay. As soon as I do that, the high beam, which you can see spearing off into the sky, will also fall to the ground. Nice.
Okay. So crash guard?
Crash guard is standard. Okay. Which has a little slider built into it also. You don't need to spend money on that. Slider? Please do not cover your bike in plumbing. It's not required. These are not brittle plastics. They're not going to break that easily. I would make very few upgrades. One, I'd put a fork seal cover on this fork for sure. One. Two, I would have aluminium backed handguards, not just these plastic things. So I'd get barkbusters, honestly, the actual original barkbusters, not whatever copy people are selling right now. I would not get those. And there's no logical way to mount luggage on this motorcycle. The grab rail is an open grab rail, so it doesn't close on itself, etc., etc. So you might have to do a little bit of work there. KTM is working on a rack that you can buy and add back to the motorcycle, but it has not been released yet. They will use the 4 bolts that I used to mount the grab rail, and you'll get a cantilevered rack off that. But that rack itself is not out yet.
Rack?
Yeah, a tail rack behind the seat. It's not out yet.
Okay.
And KTM said if there's enough people complaining about it and they think a shorter accessory screen might be needed, they'll think about it. A lot of the off-road guys were wondering, the screen is so tall, I might hit my head on it. Everybody failed to hit their head on it as far as I can tell, including Aussie Chaco, our friend. So I don't think that this may be such a big issue, but because the screen is this tall, if you're riding in the rain, for example, and the thing gets caked up in mud, obviously it's going to block off a lot of your vision. Right? For what it's worth, I crossed from Goa into Maharashtra at pre-dawn, let's call it, darkness, and I had around 20 kilometers of really, really thick fog. And in that thick fog, having to clean my visor constantly because of the condensation, I didn't really have a visual interruption, but when I came out the other side, my entire screen was splattered with some amount of gunk. This clip is actually from a much longer video, which is on our main channel, which is called MotorInc. Why don't you visit us there? This idea in more detail over there with my great friend Karthikeya Singhi. You like him, right?